industry news to mobile technology leaks and rumors. We cover tomorrow's tech news today. eSIM Tech News.
Yeah. Woo.
I just need my space right now.
Fresh off the G5 jet, I'm on my way to a brand new kit.
Welcome back, eSIMstudios YouTube channel, live stream podcast, whatever you want to call it. We are live. Hope everybody's having a good Wednesday afternoon. It is February the 25th, 2026, and today is Samsung Day. Boy, have I had a long day. Can't believe it feels like it's 7 o'clock for me. We're going to get into the launch of the S26 series, S26 Ultra specifically. It's the one it's getting all the attention. So we're going to focus on that. We're going to go over pre-order deals. We're going to go over trade-in deals. We're going to go over the price increases. We're going to go over some surprises that we saw today. We'll cover most everything and where you can potentially find the best deal for you if you're interested in the device. And then before Samsung kicked off the Galaxy Day, right around noon, Central Standard Time, nothing released. I was going to say launched, but they didn't launch it yet. Nothing released a photo and a video on their YouTube channel of the new Nothing Phone 4A in a pretty pink color. Now, I'm not one for girly colors, but this one, I'm telling you, this 4A looks beautiful, badass, phenomenal, right? They said, I know everybody's focusing their attention on Galaxy, but look at what we got. And boy, I think Nothing's got a fantastic device here in the 4A for the year of 2026. Because remember, that's going to be their phone for the year. I'm not even sure they're going to put out a Pro. Now, we're expecting them to, but I've seen nothing as far as leaks, no pun intended, for the Pro, for the 4A Pro. All I've seen is just 4A stuff, but man, does it look nice. And they're going to have the 4A launch in a bunch of different colors. It looks really, really nice. I plan on getting one. And my day started out. I'm going to have to buy 3 of these things. Not of the 4A, but of the S26 Ultra. My daughter didn't even know that the S26 Ultra was being launched today. Earlier this morning, she came up to me and she was like, "I think I'm ready for a new phone." I'm like, I've been trying to get her into. She's had a Pixel her whole life, and now she wants the Galaxy. I'm like, great. So I originally planned on getting 2 of them, or excuse me, just 1 of them, right? Because, well, I'm not going to say because, but long story short, I'm going to have to get 3 of these things. So, yeah, it's going to be expensive. So we're going to get into the price increase. Let's jump into it right now. Let's see here. Let me share my screen, and we'll get into the S26 Ultra. Real quick though, before we do, I want to show you this 4A real quick. Check this thing out. This is their YouTube. This is the video they put out. Let me see if I can get you a good look at this thing. Holy crap, does it look good. And now it's pink, but remember, they're going to release a bunch of colors. They're going to do white, black, blue, pink, I think a silver. There we go. How nice does that look? I think they just knocked it out of the park on this design. Anyways, they're trying to steal some thunder from everybody that's online looking at phones. All companies do this, right? Not just nothing, but they'll try and steal. Samsung is one of the ones that does it the most. That try, like when an Apple iPhone, when we get close to launch day or on launch day, they'll put out a press release or reveal something to try to steal some attention away. They certainly got my attention. Just a fantastic looking phone. I cannot wait for this to release. And we'll cover this. It's coming out pretty soon. I think March 5th is launch day for this. So coming in about what? When is March the 5th? Today's the 25th. It's next Thursday. So it's roughly 8 days away. This is going to be launched. And I'm going to have to get this. So I'm going to have to buy 4 phones in the next 8 days. Yeah. But I'll cover this more once we get closer. Let's jump into the Galaxy stuff. So Samsung Galaxy S26 Ultra. There was one surprise that I noticed immediately right off of the bat, right? And that was no double your storage free upgrade. We got word that they were not going to do it about 4 months ago. And then about 2 months ago, we got word that no, they're going to bring it back. And it was kind of limbo, right? It was kind of up in the air. Well, today found out no free storage upgrade. So look at this. So the base one starts at $256 for $1,300. Now, there are some double your storage for free upgrades in certain markets. Now, I don't know what markets those are. Those of you watching right now might be in one of those markets. I do know it is available in some markets because I did see that online. I think it was on Reddit. Somebody said in my market, I got double my storage for the S26 Ultra. I just don't know. But at least here in the United States, it's not available. Now, they've been doing this since I can remember, for at least the last few years. And that was one of the advantages you had of participating in the pre-order process, is getting a 512 gig storage model for the price of a 256. And as you can see there, it would save you roughly $200 right off of the bat. Samsung traditionally always has the best pre-order deals out of Apple, Google, OnePlus. It's always MOTOROLA. It's always been Samsung. And you see them kind of pulling back a little bit on all of the free offers, a certain percentage off of your earbuds, because now those are damn near full price. And there's a really good article on Android Authority where, if you read this, Samsung was very clever with how they did their price increases. Because when you look at this right off of the bat, you're like, well, they didn't increase the prices. Well, they kind of did, right? Now, their most popular model, right off of the bat, the S26 model, the SKU that sells the most, the biggest number of sales, is the Ultra, whether it's the 24 Ultra, 25 Ultra. The number that sells the most is the base model of the Ultra. So when you see here the 256 gig of the S26 Ultra is $1,299, that price has remained the same, right? From last year, the year before that. But when you jump up to 512, that price has increased. When you jump up to 1 terabyte, that price has increased. The 512 gig S25 Ultra, 512 gigs S25 Ultra last year was $1,419, I believe. So they increased the 512 by $80, and they increased the 1 terabyte model by, let's see, $80 as well. So you do see a price increase with the S26 Ultra. I'm sorry, look right here. The 1 terabyte model increased $140. So you see their most popular one remain the same, but if you get any other of the models, not just the Ultras, but even going to the S26 and S26 Plus, you're going to see a price increase, even with the base model. Because remember, last year the base model was 128 gigs. This year the base model is 256. And you're going to see a price increase compared to last year because this year there is no 128, right? So this is a really good article. The 256, the base 256 S26 is $900. $900 for the base, just to get on the door with an S26 model. $900 right off of the bat. That's crazy. I would never pay $900 for a base S26. I would just, the prices of the base model, whether it's the base S25, base S24, they plummet after a few months. So if you're interested, the Ultras typically hold their value way better than the Plus or the base model. So if you're interested in upgrading, depending on you, depending on your situation, depending on if you have a trade-in, which we'll get into in just a minute, you might want to sit down and do the math and see if it would pay off for you. Now, the best app to use to see how much it drops off and to compare it to the previous years is go to Swappa. They actually have a chart. So if you go to Swappa right here, and then you type in reject, and then you go to, let's look for S25, and then let's just go to the base model S25, right? They'll actually have a chart. Where is it? I'm used to their mobile. Let's see. Where is sales? So this is the damn it, where is their chart? Pricing data. Maybe it's here. On their mobile version, they have an actual a chart that you can look at and see how much the prices dropped off. Here we go. Here we go. S25 price trends. So you can see, I guess you can you can download these. Cool. Well, you can see here just from September. I mean, look, this is not much of a price, but they're not showing you the before September of 2025. So up until September of 2025, it's already been released for 6 months. So what I'm trying to say is, if you're interested in purchasing a Galaxy device, do the math, get on Swappa, check how much the value of the previous year's model is, see how much it's decreased, and you can expect that same decrease this year, is what I'm saying. But if you want to take advantage, and look, if you don't participate in purchasing a Galaxy device today, if you don't participate in the trade-in offers that they have, which we're going to get into right now, that means you're going to have to sell whatever device you have currently on your own, right? Meaning on Swappa or Facebook Marketplace or Mercari or OfferUp. So no double your storage sucked. Samsung wants to know your location. Let's not do that. Okay. So you got the online exclusive Silver Shadow. You got the pink gold. You have black. You have white. You have sky blue, and you have purple. Now, one thing I do want to give Samsung credit for, and I wish, and this is going to fly under the radar, nobody's going to talk about this except eSIMstudios, except me. I want to praise Samsung for their coloring schemes. Not specifically the colors they chose, because let's be honest, they're kind of, it's hard to get excited about any one of these colors. But I want to praise Samsung for keeping the same color that's on the back around the sides. So the last oh, damn it. I'm using my S25 Ultra as a webcam. I was going to show you the previous model. would have a silver midframe, and then like last year's colors, if there was a blue, it would just still have the silver border. The black, not the Phantom Black, but the regular black last year would still have a silver border, meaning the color on the outside that wraps around on the edges, on the sides, it would just all be silver. This year, Samsung is wrapping that color around the sides. Me personally, I think it looks better that way. And I would like, and I was hoping Google would do that with their Pixels. I don't like the silver, and it's all personal preference, right? But I just don't like the silver all the way around, especially with Google, because it's like chrome, it's like a mirror, and it just, you touch it and it's just a fingerprint magnet. So thank you, Samsung. So you got the colors here. They'll get it by March 11th. So if you pre-order from today up until March 10th, they say March 11th, but when you order it, they'll start shipping it out probably like next Tuesday. So this time next week, if you do order today or this week, you should have it by this time next week. Now let's get into the trade-in. So if you have a trade-in, let's see how much. Can I get them out of here? Thank you. So let's look into previous Galaxy models. So you can trade in your Fold 6 and or your last year's S25 Ultra for $900, S24 Ultra $800, S25 Edge $700, S25 Plus $700, S23 Ultra $650, Z Flip 6 $600. S25 $600, S24 Plus $600, Z Fold 5 $600, and then down from there. Now, I strongly encourage you to trade in a device if you have one, and if you don't have one, I can walk you through my trade-in hack. Might as well do that right now. So, trade-in is all about, they're giving you a decent amount of money for your trade-in. Now, if you already have one of these, cool. You can go ahead and do that. If you don't, this is an extra way to save an extra few $100s on your purchase. Let's say you just wanted to buy, you don't have a trade-in. Let's just say you wanted to buy an S26 Ultra. But you see these numbers here, and you're like, damn, 600 off, it makes a big difference, right? It'll take a $1,300 phone down to 700. That's a big difference, right? Well, here's a way you can save $300. Now you're gonna have to spend a couple $100 to save $600, but when it's all said and done, it'll knock $300 off your total order. And here's what you do: you go find one of these devices, hopefully somewhere near the top, right, with the most trade-in value. You want to go find one of those devices on the aftermarket. You're going to purchase that at a lower price, and you're going to use that as your trade-in here to get as much value as you want. For example, S25, right? I found an S25 on eBay for $260. Now, yes, you're going to have to buy that $260 S25, but Samsung's giving you $600. So essentially you're going to save 300 and, I mean, I guess after taxes, what, it's like essentially 350, right? So that'll save you $350 right off the top. Now, I've been doing this forever, and as long as you stick to the trade-in, as long as you stick to their terms of service, so the trade-in device that you potentially buy to trade in needs to turn on and work normally. Okay. Activation locks disabled, accounts removed, and the device's factory reset. Okay. Charging port works and battery holds a charge. All right. Screen. This is important. The front or back camera lenses are free of cracks. Scratches, dents are okay, just as long as the front, back, and the cameras are not, there's no cracks. And then the device is not on a banned list, meaning it's not blacklisted. Yes, you can trade in a phone that is carrier locked, meaning a T-Mobile phone that is still on a payment plan, you can still trade that in. I've done it numerous times. Just as long as it's not considered lost or stolen, you can trade it in. I've been doing it for years. So just make sure that the device that you're trading in meets all those requirements, right? And then if you hit yes, agree, there you go. It knocks your $1,300 phone down to $699, and then you can go from there, right? I strongly encourage Samsung Care. Comes in handy. Well, I mean, you don't have to, right? I mean, with a foldable, I would never use a foldable without insurance. You can get by with one of these. It just sucks if you do break your screen. You're going to be shit out of luck, but it comes in handy. But look, they're only giving you 10% off of these buds, right? They're only giving you 10% off of a Galaxy Watch Ultra. And these, the prices of cases has gotten insane. I was just on Amazon looking at case prices of just some regular cases, nothing special. Freaking $30 now. I remember even just 2 years ago, that same $30 case that's on Amazon, you could get it for like $14.99, $12.99. Now a cheap Chinese made case is freaking $30. It's insane. It is absolutely insane. What's going on? No comments on YouTube. Yeah, I know. Pretty interesting. So I want to know, and if you're watching this now, you can comment, or if you're watching this after the fact, please feel free to comment. How do you feel about this device? Are you going to get it? Would you potentially get it? Or is this just a refresh? Obviously it's a refresh, but I've been seeing positive and negative comment, not necessarily negative, but this is going to be a mixed bag here with this. I'm not sure how well this is going to sell for Samsung, because I think this is not geared towards necessarily people that already have the S25 Ultra like myself. I think this release is more geared towards people that don't have a S25 Ultra. I think this is geared towards people that might have a Pixel, people that might have an iPhone, or people that have an S24 series, S23, S22. I think the S25 sold fantastic for Samsung. It outsold the S24 series. It outsold the S23 series. So a lot of people already upgraded to the S25 Ultra. A lot less, a smaller percentage of those people are going to upgrade to this because it's essentially the same phone. I think they're just trying to round up as many of the other users as possible to get them on the Samsung train, because typically they know the numbers. Once you get on a Samsung phone, you're more likely, Samsung gives a higher trade-in value for your previous year Samsung flagship, right? So they encourage you to stay in the ecosystem. That encourages you to buy earbuds. It encourages you to buy a watch. It encourages you to sign up for services through Samsung, right? Now, one thing I didn't look at is what are they giving for other devices? So let's go to Apple. Yes. So for the 17 Pro Max, they're giving $645. For the 16 Pro Max, $590. For the iPhone 17 Pro, $435. It's a little lower than I thought. What else can we do here? Let's see. Apple, let's go to Google. Yikes. They don't even take the Pixel 10 series. So for the Pixel, geez Louise, Pixel 9 Pro Fold 390. Those are very low. Holy crap. Interesting. Well, there you have it. See, they encourage you. They give way more for their phones than any other phone. But that's the downside of using a OnePlus and or Motorola, is you don't really see trade-ins for those devices. You're typically going to have to sell those on the aftermarket, right? But interesting. So let me show you what these accessories look like and all this extra crap that you get. LumaFusion for 30 days. Okay. 2 months of Adobe Lightroom. I don't even know what ArcSight is. Like, what the hell is that? Let's see here. So if you go, they're going to try to get you to purchase accessories and watches here. Now, let's go to cases. If you do get an S26 Ultra, you can buy the anti-reflective screen protector if you want, but it's going to diminish the privacy display. It's going to diminish what you already have on the display. It has the brand new Gorilla Glass, never been put on any other phone. It's essentially unbreakable. I say essentially because you could probably break it if you really tried, but you're not going to need a screen protector on this device. So look at these prices. Insane. Now that's for the case and the wireless charger, but prices for these cases have, my goodness, getting expensive. So, and it looks like to me Samsung's really trying to push this AI stuff to sell the phone, and I'm not impressed, right? I mean, is it cool? Sure, but it's one of those things where with all this AI stuff, you use it once to try it out and then you never use it again. So I'm not a big AI feature person, and I know most people aren't as well. And of course, do I use AI? Yes, but not in the way you would think, or maybe not like you, or maybe you use one thing way more than all the others. But it's very rare that somebody uses all of these AI tools, all day, every day, like these advertisements show you. You probably just use one and, two at the most. But with all this stuff is just fluff, right? And you want to see how much this terabyte model is. Now that's with the trade-in. It's $11.99. Now what did I trade in? The S25? Yeah, it's expensive, but one of the best ways to get to get a Ultra or a new Samsung possibly might be through a carrier. Right now, I try to stick to unlocked phones, but buying them from Apple, buying them from Samsung, buying them from Google. But look, some of these carriers make it hard to deny or hard to not take advantage, right? Because I was looking at T-Mobile. T-Mobile is giving you essentially for your trade-in in any condition $1,300 for just like an S25 or an S20, I think even an S21 in any condition, meaning you can go buy one on eBay for $80, $60, trade that in for the S26 Ultra at T-Mobile, and they'll give you $1,300 for that trade-in. That's how bad they want you on their network. And yeah, maybe Verizon has similar deals. I'm sure they do. Maybe AT&T does as well. I just have not looked, but that's always an option as well. Now, you'll be on that carrier for potentially 2 to 3 years, but look, if you're just trying to find the absolute best deal possible, meaning the less money, the least amount of money coming out of your pocket, that might be a good deal. And T-Mobile, look, they have the best network. So if you're going to use your T-Mobile network, your T-Mobile SIM inside this phone anyways, yeah, you might want to check out and see what T-Mobile has to offer. Again, I'm sure Verizon and AT&T have deals. You know, there used to be like a US Cellular right here. I'm surprised. I guess they dropped out. You just see the big three right here. And you know what? It just hit me. I don't remember getting my $30 discount from Samsung. I literally checked my email before I got one and before I started this live stream, and they didn't send me my $30. And I looked when I went to go check out, when I did the pre-order, I didn't see anything that's saying minus $30 or for your instant credit. You remember 2 weeks ago when Samsung said it's the pre-order for the pre-order. Sign up now and you can reserve yours for $30 off. Remember, we were laughing because last year it was $50 off, and the year before that it was $100 off. I didn't see my $30 discount. Now, I'm not, whatever, but look, every dollar counts. I'm not sure if any of y'all have seen that as well, or checked. Maybe you've gone through the checkout process. Maybe you got right to the point where you hit the complete order. I didn't see my discount. I didn't even see an email. So I'm not sure what's going on. I did use some points. I had a whole bunch of points, but what's going on, A-Dub? Appreciate you joining us today. Hey, do you still want that mouse? I got it over here. So if you want it, I'm not gonna give it away, but if you want it, hit me up. I was going through my emails, seeing if you had emailed me as well. I mean, even if you're not, you can sell it. I think it was $119. So hit me up on the back end if you want it. It's all yours. Let's see here. The Samsung, they have a Galaxy Club that I don't remember. Are any of y'all enrolled in the Galaxy Club? Because they started that about a year ago, and I think they enable you to upgrade on a yearly basis. But I don't know anybody signed. They're trying to compete against Apple's yearly upgrade program as well. Now, let's look at this. Since we already went through, that reminds me, since I'm going to have to get 3 Galaxies, I do have my phones up for sale. Sad to say. Links are down below. Some of my phones, not all of them. I got the MOTO Signature here, $599. That's a fantastic deal. And the Z Flip 7, $499. Pretty good deal. But to help me pay for my 3 Galaxies, I get the MOTO Signature here. It's on my website. Link is down below. You'll see. This is my website. I'll ship it to you tomorrow if you buy it. But the MOTO Signature is up for sale. Fantastic device, but hey, I got a bunch of new devices coming in, so I'm gonna have to get rid of some. But it is for sale. Link is down below on my new website, Private Pixel. Go to privatepixel.shop. Excuse me, privatepixel.store. Privatepixel.store. That's the web address, and it is linked below. Now, am I missing anything here with this Samsung? Let's see. Let's see here. So it's launching with One UI 8.5 stable build. Yes, that's what I was missing. It was confirmed the S26 series does support Quick Share with iOS devices. So you'll be able, just like how Pixel 10 series has the quick share enabled for file sharing between iPhone and Pixel, that's coming to the S26 series as well. But all three, the base model, the plus model, and the ultra model. One thing we don't know is when they are going to make that available for older models, meaning the S25 series or the S24 series, right? It's probably going to be a few months before they enable that. They're trying to make this exclusive, trying to get people, entice people to make that purchase for the new device. So if you're not upgrading and you're going to stick with your S25 Ultra another year, it's probably going to be a few months before they enable that on other devices. But I do anticipate them to enable that, right, for older devices, but it's going to be a little while. Now, what new features do we have here with the Snapdragon? The night video, what is that? What the hell? Nitrography video on the S26 Ultras automatically adapts to complex lighting. Advanced professional video APV codec. Now this is cool. This is something that people like myself or other content creators that actually edit videos. Samsung has a new video codec that keeps its detail no matter how much you edit that content. Because sometimes if you edit it and then you render it, and then you edit it and then you render it. Oh, I need to go back and put an intro in. And then you could throw the intro in, and then you render that video. It loses a little bit of quality, a little bit of its look each time you render it, right? Samsung has this new codec called APV that when you go back and edit a video that was shot on APV, when you shoot a video in that codec, it's not going to lose its quality at all, and you could edit it 1,000 times. That is cool. That's stuff that I look at stuff like this and think, yeah, that's really cool. I know most are not going to use it. Most of that goes right over people's heads, but that's a really neat feature. I think I'm gonna like. We're gonna have to see just how well it takes videos in low light conditions. You do get photo assist with on-device AI. Smooth gameplay, we already knew that. Integrated ultra wideband. Now, it's already had ultra wideband, but it says with this new S26 series, can enable secure touchless transit payments and precise device location. So it's probably just an upgraded version of the UWB, the ultra wideband. That's what helps, like for beacon sharing, beacon linking, location on maps, stuff like that. That's what really helps out. It's ultra low powered integrated circuit that's in your device. So it looks like that's getting an upgrade. Let's see here. I mean, look, it's an S25 Ultra on steroids is basically what this is. Now remember, next year for the Ultra series, so the S27 Ultra, this time next year, they're getting an all new look, meaning they're going to change up the way it looks on the back. And you're also getting new camera sensors, actual hardware. They're upgrading the cameras completely next year. So if you think you want to hold on for another year, I certainly get it. Just be mindful that I guarantee you the prices are going to go up even more next year, because that's the whole reason why Samsung did not. That's the whole reason why you don't see huge upgrades this year, very incremental this year, is because Samsung didn't really want to increase the price. Because remember, the more they increase the price, the less likely somebody is to purchase it. So they're really trying to find that sweet spot for the upgrades that they can put in there, but not really increasing the price, right? Next year, when you get all new look, all new design, all new hardware, all new camera sensors, you're going to see a price increase across the board of at least $100, right? So the base, what, S27 Ultra is going to be $13.99. That sounds crazy, but I mean, eventually Apple's gonna, with the new iPhone 18, they're gonna have to increase the price, right? It sucks, but it's just part of the deal. I mean, I get it, especially for the companies, right? You want to provide the consumer a great product, but you don't want to raise the price too much, right? Or you're going to turn some potential customers away, but you do want to provide a great product. So it's this struggle between how much can we put in there for the least amount of money, but at some point you're going to have to bite the bullet and upgrade your camera. I mean, they've stretched these sensors so incredibly thin, meaning they've squeezed every ounce, every drip of juice out of that lemon, you know, or that sensor. They've gotten every little bit they can out of these sensors. Remember, these sensors are 5 years old, so it's kind of like Google, how they did with their pixels, that famous 12 megapixel sensor that was in every Google Pixel device for 5 years. They stretched every bit of juice out of that sensor that they could over those 5 years, and at some point you've reached the maximum amount you can do with that hardware. At some point, you're just gonna have to upgrade, right? And I think they've hit that limit on this device, and that's why I'm hearing behind the scenes next year is going to be a whole different ball game. So I get it. If you want to hold out, it is what it is. Just keep in mind that this time next year, the S27 Ultra is probably going to be a little more expensive. And that device that you have in your hand right now, you're probably going to get a little less out for trade-in value for that device. So look, everybody's different. Everybody's situation is different. So if you can't do it because of money reasons, I get it. If you're going to bite the bullet and go ahead and get it this year, good for you. But if I did not have a YouTube channel, I don't think I would upgrade. That's like this morning when I found out that I was going to have to buy a couple of these, or one more than I originally planned for. So I was kind of like, oh my God. So had me looking at all sorts of deals today and what I can trade in, looking at T-Mobile deals, all sorts of stuff. So anyways, I appreciate the time. There's not much more to talk about this. Look, we're gonna get this device in. I have a bunch of case reviews to do on this device. We're gonna do. I doubt I'm gonna go through all of the features. The privacy shade, cool. Of course, we'll check it out, put it on camera to see what it looks like. But a lot of these are just, you know, it's fluff, quite frankly. So I'm probably just going to use this as my content device, meaning just shooting, recording stuff on, and then I'll probably use, I don't know if I'll keep my main sim in this. That's up for, we'll just have to wait and see. But YouTube is bork. Is it tripping? Yeah, YouTube's been funny lately. I don't know what's going on with YouTube. They've been I've heard they've been, what's the right word? They've been maneuvering, rerouting their data and their cloud storage on the back end. You'll remember my live stream, what was it, a few days ago, how it was real bad quality. Well, apparently they're going through some change. Do y'all remember that outage last week? That was crazy too. So yeah, it is. It sure is. Well, I appreciate the time. That's the S26 Ultra. So I put out a link if you're interested. I put out a link in a community post for 5% off. Now, one thing that bothers me is I don't watch a lot of tech YouTube, like tech channels. I don't watch a lot because I don't want my opinion to be molded by somebody else's opinion. You see what I'm saying? But one thing that kind of did bother me, or kind of was super cringy, I'm not gonna call them out, but are YouTubers that try and tell you to upgrade. Like there's nothing wrong with this device. Like it's just all peaches and cream. Like it's the gods have reached down and handed us this phone to use, and you have to buy it. That really turned me off. Was it yesterday or today I saw that? It was yesterday. I am never gonna tell you you need to buy something. Everybody's situation is different. Everybody likes different stuff. Phones and electronics, tablets, laptops, there is not one perfect phone out there, meaning you have a list of pros and cons. There's not one phone out there that just fills up that pro column, and there's not one thing on the cons column. See what I'm saying? Every one of these phones has pros and cons, right? You may lean towards better cameras on this end. Others may lean towards display. Some may lean towards battery life. Some may lean towards price, right? That may turn you away that it's $1,300, and I get it. But I'm never ever going to tell you you have to buy this device, or there's just not anything wrong. Not necessarily wrong, but I'm not going to tell you there's no downsides to something. But if you are interested, there's a 5% discount in my community post. If you want to purchase an S26 series, it will save you 5%. There's a link there, Samsung link. But if I were the average person and you already have an S25 Ultra, I would skip. If you have a OnePlus 15, I think you can skip this. Honestly, I think the OnePlus 15 is a better phone. Don't tell anybody I said that. But yeah, so appreciate the time. I'm going to get out of here. I got to buy another 2 of these. So I'm going to go look for the best deal right now. Appreciate the time. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Please take it easy. Please be safe. Take care.